What if I told you you weren't living a meaningless existence, but you actually incarnated with an incredibly important mission that only you can complete? I received a detailed message in a dream that reveals some of these deeper reasons you came here, and more importantly, how you can achieve what you actually came here to do instead of living the rest of your life without ever knowing why you're even here. First, I'll tell you what this fascinating dream was, and then I'll reveal the message that it carries. Right on time.
Yeah, hi, I got a package here for Kyle Burke.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, alright now, here you go.
Thank you very much.
Alright, if you'll just sign here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's standard procedure. If you wouldn't mind signing, I'll be on my way. Alright, everything looks good. I'll be taking my tip now.
Yeah, sure, hold on. Here you go.
Alright, you have a good day now, sir.
As you can see, I got the dream right here, and it goes a little something like this. This dream starts off with a very rich and distinguished gentleman. This gentleman is known for hosting his yearly exhibition where he shows off some of the craziest and wealthiest historical artifacts in the entire world. The woman that he put in charge of getting all these artifacts ready for this exhibit is super stressed. She's worried that she's not going to be able to get all of these items prepared in time for this event. Next, I'm shown this woman in her office, and she's preparing and preserving all of these artifacts with sulfur. As all of this is taking place, I'm very aware that the setting for this scene is in the desert. Suddenly, the dream switches to a different part of the desert where I'm shown the most magnificent, beautiful palace I've ever seen. It's built into this red cliffed wall in the desert, and I'm shown the sun rising behind the palace, which reveals all the intricate columns and arches and all these shaded areas where the guests get to sit. I look up into the corner and I notice there's a recreated scene of a plane crash, and it's part of this palace. I see a couple different crumbled planes, and probably most weird of all, I see a plane on its nose attached to this metal rod, and the plane is just spinning around, kind of like an amusement ride. As I'm watching this weird recreated scene as part of this beautiful palace, I suddenly become aware that this is all the setting for a James Bond movie that's being filmed here. That's when the action scene starts. I see the spinning plane detach from the metal rod and start falling towards the earth. As this giant plane starts falling right towards where James Bond is standing, at the last second he ducks behind a corner, narrowly missing this plane and escaping with his life. Next, he's inside the palace. As he's walking through these beautiful intricate hallways, he's thinking to himself how weird it was that once that plane hit the ground it didn't explode. He starts to become really suspicious of what's going on, and that's when it hits him. It's a trap. He realizes the plane is about to explode in order to kill him, and so he starts screaming, trying to warn people to get out of the way. But right as he's trying to warn people to get out of the way, the plane erupts into a huge fiery ball of destruction. James Bond is standing there, realizing that this explosion was supposed to kill him, but he's here, still alive. That's when the palace comes under attack. The palace is swarmed by tons of bad guys, armed to the teeth, and James jumps into action, taking out these bad guys one by one, saving the day, that typical action hero stuff. Just as it seems that James Bond is getting the upper hand, this massive built Terminator man, armed to the teeth, super trained assassin killer, walks into the room, and that's when James is like, oh shit. They start ducking and rolling, they're firing at each other, trying to take each other out. This ripped guy and James Bond look each other in the eyes, and that's when the dream switches. I see this main bad guy at the bottom of a staircase. Looking up at the staircase, I see James Bond walk into the light. He whips out his pistol, and without flinching an inch, they both start firing directly at each other without moving at all. The bravery of both men to stand facing death in the eyes really hits me in my core. James Bond doesn't hit the man at all, even with his impeccable aim. Terminator guy ends up nicking James Bond in the arm. After James Bond gets nicked in the arm, he rushes to find cover in a nearby bedroom. When he opens the door to the bedroom, he finds a grown man laying on the bed, and he's just chilling playing video games, totally oblivious to what's going on outside his bedroom. James walks over beside his bed, picks up this white airsoft pistol, and then nonchalantly walks back out. He politely closes the door behind him, leaving this guy to peacefully play his video games while the entire palace is under attack. That was my action-packed dream, and it contains a message on why you are here, and more importantly, how you can start to become the kind of person you have always dreamed of. Make sure you stay after the message, where I'm going to go over the key points so you fully understand the entire scope of what this message is actually telling you. Here is the message that the dream carries. The first item, exhibition, ambition represents you are being called to make changes to your life in order to bring your mind and spirit on a higher and advanced level. It is time to break out of your daily routine. Prepared represents in order to feel the joy that you truly are, effort is required to let go of the identity that you cling to. Letting go of this identity that you have held on to for so long will be a challenge. But when you succeed in letting go of who you thought you were, you will experience great joy. Cliff represents you are off track with what it is you want in your life. Hours represent you have been waiting for something to inspire you to make changes to yourself. This message is your wake-up call. Spinning represents now is the best time to make lasting changes to yourself. Playing represents in order to make changes to yourself that will last, you must go within to become conscious of the parts of yourself that you have been previously unaware of. Learning how to do this consistently is the most important thing that you can focus on now. Suspicious represents as you start to become more aware of yourself, a fantastic feeling of calm will fill your entire being. This sense of well-being will affect the kind of person that you are in your waking life. The color white represents you will become a light to the world. Shirt represents you are being encouraged to observe your thoughts as you go throughout your day. Top represents start becoming aware of the habits and behaviors that make up your personality. Perfect represents there is no better time than right now to start remembering who you truly are. Guy represents you are currently in the process of development along your spiritual path. Making progress on your path will inevitably increase your well-being in all areas of your life. Brave represents it is a very brave thing you did, coming to this planet in order to experience life. Point represents part of the reason you came here was also to find out if you have what it takes to conquer the human mind. This is the deeper meaning of why you are here. You are here to ascend the boundaries of this physical dimension. By becoming aware of the parts of yourself that are hidden, you will achieve the success that you want. Take advantage of the opportunity you have to be here. Pistol represents you are more supported and protected than you realize. Playing video games represents you are currently looking for a solution to the stresses of your daily life. Outside represents by reclaiming your freedom, you will give yourself more fulfillment than you ever thought possible. You will also create space for new opportunities to enter your life by getting rid of old beliefs that no longer serve you. And finally, build represents carry an attitude of gratitude with you everywhere you go, because when you change how you feel on the inside, the whole world begins to change. I loved this message because it's like a slap in the face telling us, hey, you've been asleep for far too long and it's time to start right now working on the whole reason you came here in the first place. At face value, this message seems really obvious, but what is the deeper meaning that this message is trying to convey? The first thing we learned is that it's time to break out of our daily routine and begin making changes to ourselves that are needed. The way I see it, there are two roads ahead of us. One road, we continue to do nothing and we live out the rest of our days having never made any significant changes to ourselves. The other road, you are now more aware of the deeper reason you're here, and so you start to make changes and progress towards becoming the kind of person you always wanted to be. The next thing this message is telling us is that in order to experience that true joy, your true actual essence, effort is required in order to let go of this identity that you think you are. We have this idea about ourselves in our head. We think we are this way, but really what I've learned is you are what you believe. Your personality is just a collection of many beliefs. In order to experience the fullness of life, in order to know the trueness of who you are, you need to become aware of all these beliefs that make up your personality and begin to drop them away. And in order to do that, it takes work. Next, we were told that this is our wake-up call. Now is the best time to make changes to ourselves. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, not 3 years from now. The only time that exists is the present moment. And they're saying right now is the best time, is the only time to make changes to yourself. If you don't do it now, when will you do it? Do you want to live out the rest of your life having never become the person that you wanted to be? Or do you want to put in the effort and work and achieve the whole goal of why you came here in the first place? The next key point in this message was that in order to make these changes that you and I are being called to make, we need to go within. Most of us think we know, oh yeah, I know who I am. But really, if you think of that poster of the iceberg where you only see the tip of the iceberg above the water and you see the rest of the massive ice underneath the water, the bulk of what makes up our personality is that ice under the water. And that tip is just who we think we are. They're saying you need to become aware of everything under the water in order to start making actual lasting changes to yourself. The other part of that is they're saying this process is the most important thing you can focus on now. Every single one of us has a life. We have things going on, we have hardships, we have successes, we have a whole life situation. All these things are okay to focus on, but if you really want to do the most with your life, the most important thing you can do is becoming aware of yourself. That will lead to all of the fulfillment, all of the joy that you could ever dream of. I love this next part. They're reminding us that you and I are a work in progress. When we put expectations on ourselves and we think we need to be perfect, it creates stress, and stress brings us on the path of becoming who we don't want to be. So simply put in the work and progress on this journey. In fact, I think it was Alan Watts who said, the whole point of music is not to arrive at the end as quickly as possible. The point of music is the journey itself. Next, they're telling us that you and I coming to this planet was the bravest thing we could have possibly done. Coming here to experience life, to experience pain, suffering in order to grow and learn more about ourselves is extremely brave. We left the comfort of the spirit realm in order to put ourselves in a situation where anything can happen. Part of that is we came here to learn if we have what it takes to remember who we truly are, to wake up from this illusion and conquer the human mind and the rest of this physical dimension. The next part is they're saying take advantage of the opportunity you have to be here. Being here is not something to be taken for granted. A lot of us get stuck in a place where we're like, I just need a way out, I can't handle this anymore. Being alive, simply being here on this earth, is the most precious gift of all. You're here, you have another day to experience unknown, to experience adventure, to learn about yourself in the most dynamic, precious environment there is. Be grateful for this opportunity you've been given and make the most of it. This next part, they're reminding you that you are more supported and protected than you know. Your higher self, your spirit team, all these beings are with you, supporting you, guiding you on this brave journey that you are on. Your whole spirit team, your higher self, they got you. You are not alone. You are here, you are supported, you are safe, you are protected. The next thing we learn from this message is that the solution to your daily stresses is simply reclaiming your freedom. Going within, becoming aware of who you are by observing yourself and letting go of what doesn't serve you. That is reclaiming your freedom. And when you reclaim your freedom, everything in your life improves, you improve, your well-being improves, and the stresses become a no thing. Finally, the last thing they're telling us is to carry an attitude of gratitude for everything in your life, because when you experience gratitude, everything in your life improves. That means when you change how you feel on the inside, everything on the outside changes, because you are radiating this positive transformation you've made to yourself, and the world has no choice but to reflect back to you the positive changes that you've made. I hope you enjoyed this message as much as I did. If you did, hit that like button below and subscribe to the channel so you never miss new dream wisdom when it comes out. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Peace and love.